to understand with you how it comes that the Chametz is connected to the aspect of Yetser Harah. So we have to know to understand how it's built.
Oh, I just have one question. Can you post the recipe inside the Otzina Kadisha group, if possible?
Of the house set? Yes.
Okay, awesome. Because I'm going to shop either today or probably tomorrow, and I just want to be able to get all the right stuff.
So, on va essayer de comprendre aujourd'hui, même si on sait que le Hametz, pendant toute l'année, ça a été le pain qui t'a servi de faire la bracha Shabbat, d'où ça vient que on ait cette notion de Yetser Harah. Qu'on est au Hametz, tout le monde dit ça. Tout le monde dit ça. D'où ça vient? Comment on le comprend? It's come that it's so connected to the aspect of Yetser Harah. How it comes. And is it true? For sure it's true. But if all the saints say that, it means that it's true. We have roots for that. How it works. Comment ça fonctionne. Comment on se connecte à ça ou on ne connecte pas à ça. How we connect with that aspect of the matter. So we'll be in Sefer Alikutim. Shar Alikutim.
Anything else on there yet?
No, we're going to stay on Nikutim.
Cigarettes.
Yes. So first of all, to understand the idea, the concept of something called bread being the most important thing for Shabbat all the years, how can it be suddenly called like Yetser Harah Chametz? Have to be disconnected with that. We know that the bread it's Lekhem. And it is Mochin of Abba. Mochin of Abba. Donc on sait que le pain, c'est le Lekhem. You okay, Abiyanasan?
My back.
You're back?
Yeah. Hey. It's okay, Rabbi, please.
We know that Lekhem, it's 32. How can we put that Lekhem was so holy? It's so holy. From that, what is 32? It's Yud K. Vav K. Yud K. Vav K. Yud K. Vav K. One for Chokhmah, one for Binah, one for that. Donc le pain, c'est quoi? C'est Lekhem. Lekhem, c'est 72. En Gematria, 78, sorry. En Gematria. So, comment on compte 78? On prend Yud Ke Vav Ke 3 fois. So it's the proof that Lekhem is really connected to the aspect of Kedusha. So how it became Yetser Harah. When I see the text, telling you even I cannot say it's Yetser Harah, Remez Yetser Harah. How is it possible? It's like your wife. Your wife, she'd also called Lekhem, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how do you consider her when she's Nida?
Forbidden.
Comment tu la considères quand elle est Nida?
Pure.
C'est sûr. So she's the Chametz. She's your bread. Elle est ton pain. C'est parce que le mot pain, c'est aussi utilisé pour parler de la femme. Et tu as besoin de ta femme. She's the half of your soul. C'est ta moitié. Et pourtant, 12 days per month, she is Chametz. Elle est chametz. Tu ne peux pas l'approcher. She cannot even give to you a cup. Elle ne peut pas donner un verre. You cannot sit on the bed. Tu peux t'asseoir sur son lit. So you see the concept?
So is it chametz is not a physical mitzvah, it's a spiritual reality.
Thank you.
So just like the Sephardim paskin, that matzah, kol hashana is mezonos, and all of a sudden on Pesach it takes on the spiritual reality of bread.
Exactly.
And the chametz is not during the year. It's not chametz.
Exactly.
We don't eat chametz.
Exactly.
We never eat chametz. That's the point.
Exactly. So that's why now you can make a shiluv, a connection between what we saw in the Shah Kavanot, telling you that what is chametz, it's mochin of Abba. It's not Yestser Harah. But like Rabbi Yoshiahu, you have a spiritual situation that brings you to say, this is not good for me now.
À 10 moments.
At this moment, exactly. C'est pas bon pour moi maintenant, ce moment-là.
Because it's giving mochin of Abba to the people.
Exactly. But also, because the mochin of Abba itself, that timeline is not helpful for you. Even not helpful.
Because he's ça c'est vraiment parce que c'est ça, c'est kadosh.
C'est ça. C'est kadosh. Like your wife, she's holy. You marry her under the chuppah. You give to her your first strength. She has you so inside. She's the mother of your children. She's doing cleaning, food, and so on. She's holy. But 12 days per month, c'est ça. Ta femme, elle est kadosh. Elle te fait à boire, à manger. Elle te donne tout. Elle est la mère de tes enfants. Elle a reçu ton âme en elle. Mais 12 jours par mois, tu t'éloignes d'elle. The only way to understand, to start to understand that question is how chametz is now connected to Yestser Harah. We're going to go deeper because we're going to finish to Soya. Let's see. Is to understand the relationship you have with your wife. She is also called Lekhem. It's page. Kuf Nun He. If someone can send, it's for you, Rabbi Yoshiahu, it's Parashat Bo, Pasuk Shivat Yamim, Matzot Tochelu. You will eat Matzot 7 days. So this is the beginning of the question. Like this, our mind, our brain can start to understand what's happened here. Why we have that change. Pourquoi on a fait changement là? Garde ça. Le pain, c'est comme la femme. C'est la femme, c'est le nom caché de la femme, le pain. Mais tu dois t'en éloigner. Ta femme, 12 jours par mois. Like the bread, but the bread is only Pesach and the days of Pesach every year. But it still be mochin of Abba. So the second question is, how mochin of Abba can be called 8 days, let's say, in the year, Yestser Harah. If you want, or your wife can be 12 days in the month called impure. Don't come next to her. She can make you impure. La même question, comment ta femme elle peut t'appeler impure alors que c'est ton épouse? Et comment les mochin de Abba peuvent t'appeler Yestser Harah? So let's see the text and try to understand. We are in Parashat Bo, in Shar Alikutim. Pasuk Shivat Yamim Matzot Techulu. You will eat matzot 7 days. Beyom Harishon Tishbetu Seor. And on the first day, you have also to put yourself away from the yeast. So he said like this, the Harah Kadosh. Thank you, Rabbi Yosha. He said, Darash Harav Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital said, עניין רמז חמץ בפסח, רמוז לעתיד שהתבטלו החמץ שרומז ליצר הרע. So he starts. He said, we want to understand what is the meaning, the allusion of chametz on Pesach. He said, you have to know that in the future, the chametz will be nullified. Because the chametz is the example of the Yetser Hara, is the illusion of Yetser Hara. So what's happened here? Donc il dit quoi? Il dit, sache que le sujet qui fait que le Hametz, du Hametz à Pessah, sache que dans l'avenir, le Hametz sera annulé dans le futur. Et que le Hametz aujourd'hui fait référence au Yetser Hara. So my question is, all Atid Lavo is to fix 8 days. Because he said, the Atid Lavo, in the future, the Hametz will be nullified. Which Hametz? On Pesach. What is Pesach? 7 days. So all the purpose of Olam Haba is to fix 7 days. Yes. You see what I mean here? The Hametz will be the battle. Will be nullified. The Hametz sera annulé. So all the purpose for us, what we have to understand now, is that 7 days. What are they? Is it the 7 days of creation? Or 47
kings.
Also. C'est les 7 jours de la création, mais je crois que c'était à Tishri, à propos de Tishri. People say start from the 26th of Tishri. So why you bring me 7 days in the middle of Nisan? What are them? Where they come from? Because it seems to be that this is all the purpose of our actions toward Pesach. Et d'où ça vient? Qu'est-ce que ça veut faire ces 7 jours-là en plein milieu de Nissan? C'est même pas les 7 jours de la création, c'est de la création. C'est quoi ces 7 jours-là?
Ouais, c'est marrant par l'histoire de Pessah, quand même.
Hein?
Par rapport à l'histoire de Pessah.
Ouais, mais l'histoire de Pessah, ça commence avec le Brit Abraham. Avant ça, on n'est pas en Égypte, on n'est même pas sûr d'y aller. Et il semble que là, cette histoire-là, de ces 7 jours-là, existait avant même la création.
Ah oui, c'est vrai.
He asked about, no, it's obvious because it's time and such. No, it wasn't not sure. When Abraham did the covenant, only on that time we know that we'll be slaves. We don't know it will be Mitzrayim. So it seems to be that 7 days, it's before the creation, before what we call the creation in Bereshit. What are they? So he said, V'se'or yirmos b'yotziot rosh. He said, Chametz is Yetser Hara. Okay, we get it. The aspect of keep in mind, when it's not the good time, even the best food can be poison. Quand c'est pas le bon moment, même la meilleure chose pour toi peut être du poison. Each thing has its own place and its own style. And when it comes about Mochin of Abba, even if it's high and it's cold, bread all the day, on Pesach, the only way for you to connect to them is to transform them to matzah. Le seul moyen de te connecter au Mochin de Abba, c'est de les transformer en matzah. Voilà. He said, Yestser, so we have Hametz. We saw it's Yetser Hara, like he said here. Yetser Hara. But Seor, what is Seor? Yeast. C'est quoi le Seor? C'est le levain. Seor, he said, don't say Seor. Think that this is Otziot Rosh. Dis le Seor, tu veux comprendre ce qui se passe derrière, ne dis pas que c'est seulement le levain. Je pense que c'est les mêmes lettres que pour faire la tête, le roche. C'est Yermazu leotiot rosh yeole Elohim. Kaze are achoraim shelohim. So how do we get rosh from Elohim? You take the back of Elohim. Aleph, Aleph, Lamed, Aleph, Lamed, He, Aleph, Lamed, He, Yud, Aleph, Lamed, He, Yud, Mem. Donc tu prends les arrières d'Elohim, tu prends le Aleph, après tu prends le Aleph, Lamed. Et tu arriveras à 200, tu arriveras à Rosh. You have Gematria, Rosh, Are, Resh, Ve, Kolel. So this Resh, how do you build the Resh? It's the Ribua of Elohim. So, how do you be Aleph? It's Shem Elohim Pashut. How do you beat Shin? It's Shem Elohim with Milui Yodin. et Yud. Yud Bartelet, Mem, Mem. So this is Rosh. So it seems to me that in Seor, we have them in not the same order. In Rosh, Elohim Pashut is in the middle. In Seor also. What's happened, it's where the back are. In Rosh, the back should be first. Basically, you go to from the dinim to the street. But here, it's opposite. Elohim of Yudin, it's very sweet. It's Gematria 300. Shin. You go to the back. Basically, you go to the dinim. So it's better to say Rosh, not Seor. Donc le Rosh et Seor, c'est pas la même logique. Quand tu construis Rosh, tu vas vers l'adoucissement. Tu pars de Elohim avec ses arrières jusqu'à Elohim rempli avec des Yud. Alors que quand tu fais Seor, c'est le contraire. Tu vas vers les dinim. So ici, Gematria Shin, vers Rosh. Besod, Vaï, David, Ba'ad, Arosh. Mais sa mère même, Rosh, les Aïn Umot, Anikra Chametz. So I said, the Chametz, the 10 days, it's Samer Mem. Is the head of the 70 people. Donc il dit, le Chametz, pendant.
70 nations.
Yeah, the same people, nations. Samer Mem, quand tu le prends lui, c'est lui qui incarne le Chametz pendant les 7 jours de Pessah. Et il est la tête des 70 peuples. He said, so what's the connection? Something called. Hein?
Non, j'ai pas suivi là en fait, ça vient même.
C'est lui le Chametz. Pendant 7 jours.
Il y a la tête des 70 nations.
Mohamed.
Chametz, yeah. So is it possible something called bread becomes Samer Mem? I still don't understand how it's happening. Let's say we are twins and you have your way, I have my way. I understand, we come from the same belly, but I have my way. Je dis, on est des jumeaux, on est différents. Tu prends ton chemin, je prends le mien. Mais comment quelque chose qui s'appelle pain, il peut devenir Samer Mem? Or something called bread, and show me, you'd give a free time? It's no, you call it easily Samer Mem. Even if it's 7 days, okay, I accept 7 days only. But why?
One of the Havayas that is included in the Lekhem, though, is the Havaya of Sab, which we know that's where the Gilui of Dinim begins.
Yes.
So, yes, it's Lekhem and it contains these madrigas of holiness, but
yes,
there is the potential.
Yes.
Like the way that I always see it conceptually is matzah, at least the Ashkenazi kind, you can leave it for 100 years and pick it up and eat it, and it would be fine. But bread will go moldy in 1 week. Why? There's something inside of it that now it can create that.
What does it mean, like Yoshiao? All the years I have this, but I have a part of it inside. Because to pass from that to that in 7 days, I need something inside to give me the power to transform it. Comment je passe de pain à ça? C'est obligé que j'ai un peu de ça tout le temps, pendant les jours de l'année. That's why when you eat your bread, let's say the sage, look at the table and say, Ze, before you start Birat Hamazon, you say, Ze Ashulchan Asalif La Hashem. Why? Because it's standing on the table. But why is he standing? Why you put the bread? That's why to eat the bread, you have to wash the bread. And also to bring it to be bread, you start from the wheat. You make it flour. You make the dough. After you put in the oven, fire. And after when you eat from the place where it's the more burned. And after you finish to eat it with kavanot. You eat muna, lechem, pad, dak, pad. Okay. After, it's not finished yet. Make the blessing, birkat Amazon. So understand that something is strange with that food. Are you have to work to make it bread? And after they say that at the end of the time, the bread becomes already done, glucotea, it comes out from the earth. Ils te disent, le pain c'est bizarre, tu vois quand tu dois travailler, tu dois prendre la graine, tu transformes en farine, après tu fais devenir une pâte, tu mets au feu, après tu le brûles, après tu le manges, c'est pas fini, tu fais la bracha, tu mets les cavanotes, tu fais les cavanotes, tu fais la fabrication Amazon, tout ça pour un truc qui est aussi simple, c'est compliqué, ça fait beaucoup. Et en plus, like Marie dit qu'à la fin, le pain sortira tout seul de la terre. So it seems to me that the bread that we have now, don't have a problem.
Avec le pain, c'est quand même symbolique dans le monde entier. Hein.
Il y a un problème. Il y a un problem. To bring it out, you work. You eat it, be careful. You have conditions. Tu dois manger avec des conditions. Blessing, be clean.
C'est ce que je te dis, il y a une particularité. C'est quelque chose de sacré, en fait.
Oui, mais ce sacré, il est bizarre. Comment tu galères autant pour le faire pain? Alors que tu me dis qu'à la fin, ça sera tout seul le pain de la terre. That Gemara telling us that the bread will comes out alone by itself shows not that we have a problem. The bread that we have now is a problem.
But that's one of the curses of annihilation.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes. How you can switch from bread to chametz to make it logical is that the bread that you have, even if it's only on the table, you know that this is the result of a curse. Tu sais que ce pain-là que tu as sur la table, même si c'est quelque chose de très élevé, c'est la résultante d'une malédiction. You have to work to get your bread.
Ah, tu veux dire
Madame Marichon.
le travail.
Bien sûr. Non, le pain, il dit, tu auras ton pain par la douleur. Tu travailleras pour avoir ton pain. Par la douleur, tu feras sortir ton pain.
Le soir de ton front, il ne passe pas.
Ouais, c'est ça. C'est pour avoir ton pain. You see that the bread, even if we call it only on the day of Shabbat, it still have a problem. And that Gemara remind you, no, at the end, you will not have to work so hard. That's why that switch 7 days. Every year, 7 days, it reminds you, look, that bread, yes, you praise it, you bless it, you make God a hot bread. It's not the bread that we want you to be focused on. Why that 7 days? So now we start to question. Yes, now we know how it's switched. Because the bread itself, even if you have fruit and mavaya, something wrong is inside.
But they don't tell us in the there is the Indian medicine, or I don't remember the name. Do you remember? The name of the Indian medicine?
The Indian medicine?
Shaman?
Ayurvedic?
Ayurveda. They recommend not to eat bread.
Yes. Thank you. You take my words.
Yeah.
That's why you have people being allergic. How something so holy can be allergic for people?
The great specialist in Indian medicine.
Yes.
I thought bread was different from how we.
You know, you have gluten.
I thought used to, but that we like the way we treat the soil and things, it's totally taken out a lot of the helpful.
Which bread?
I don't know if it's practiced, if it's the standard internationally, but in America, some people have linked people's increased allergy to all the chemicals and things they use on wheat farms. And
So you're obliged to make a kind of work on it. So the bread is not, seems to be not healthy for everybody.
Right.
The only bread we know which is very healthy without work is Lekhem, and it's Lekhem in Hashamayim. What is that? The man.
Oh, c'est des bracha.
Yes.
C'est vrai que c'est marrant, mais même ça n'a rien à voir, mais tu sais que même en économie, pour évaluer la valeur d'un euro ou un indice, la baguette de marche.
He said something, say that even in economy, if you want to make a value of one currency, what is the reference is the bread.
Ouais. Donc,
So we start to see that bread, we run fast. We say bread, it's frit amavaya, But the Fritam Havaya, you say it's when it's your wife, 12 days you separate from her. When it's Fritam Havaya, 7 days you take it away from your table, from your city and so on. What's up with that bread? Milchama. Thank you. He's giving. Give more details. You say even the letter of Lekhem, you create the word war.
Wow.
Shema, which is Zah, and then Lekhem, which is Zah.
Good.
So it's
Like
Milchama.
yeah, it's a Lekhem. So I don't understand. So now we say opposite. We press the red before we say Machina Vaba. Now we saw that Machina Vaba is the biggest problem.
I do have a conflict. We eat bread. I don't want to eat bread. I try all the time. I try to find an excuse, but I don't feel comfortable to ask. I know.
You're right. But Rabbi Benjamin, you have to know that all the food we find on the table of Shabbat, it's not for our pleasure. We have to fix them. That's why we have to eat them. The only way for them to be fixed is to be eaten by Jewish. The proper way. In a good way.
I have a conflict with them. I need to learn authentic inside here. How am I gonna eat bread?
How are you gonna eat? I don't know, but let's say why you have to eat. That's a question. Yeah, you see now the bread, you see the problem?
It's funny though, because the sword is not. It's also what we will refer to as the mother
Which what?
as well, right?
So yeah.
Where the Rosh is connected is Ima,
Yeah, in that case, yes.
but not in this configuration.
This is Abba,
Yeah.
and this is Im.
Yes. Right.
So she can be called Rosh because she had the aspect of Abba always inside of her.
Mhm.
So it's not a problem. Yeah.
There is a saying that the first nation that has come up with the concept of bread making is Mitzrayim.
Ooh, where do you get that?
Huh?
You know where you found it?
Yeah, it's one of the Mekubalim in Machon Meir.
There's no Kubalim in Machon Meir.
One of my Kabbalist.
The Russian gentleman?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, there's at least one.
In the parentheses, he one day gave a shiur saying that God is the devil. Everybody's.
You don't know where we're going. You don't know where we're going.
Yeah.
So I don't. I'm afraid
You can say that kind of sentence, but if you say that, you have to build the text with, because it's like you make an announcement. No, build it. So when we see we have a problem, the bread. And I will let them finish your.
Yeah. No. Yeah, my question is, I do not know the source except by referring to the rabbi I heard from. We know that Mitzrayim is considered as Tuma, something like that.
Yeah.
Now here we see a number of things that are connected to. Help me to understand.
I'll say something, maybe you will change your mind. Always we feel that people, when you put some vegetables and bread, they don't want to take bread. We think because we are not so tzadikim that they don't want to say Birkat Hamazon.
A lot of time, a lot of people
Yes, it may be. Peut-être c'est pas ça le problème.
We even have a term in English, it's called benchophobia.
Peut-être c'est plus haut que ça. Maybe it's higher than that. Because you eat something, you know, to make 4 blessings. Tu dois faire 4 bénédictions pour ramener la shefa. Tu bois chez Akol, tu fais boire les nefashot, done. You got the shefa. Tu manges le pain, tu dois faire bracha rishona, bracha shniya, bracha shishit, kavit, tu dois faire 4 brachot pour recevoir la shefa du pain.
On sait tous pourquoi.
Pourquoi?
Parce que le pain, c'est une nourriture, comment t'expliquer, c'est un produit de la terre. Il faut du blé, il faut déjà respecter la terre, faire les prières.
Non, pourquoi? C'est pas ça la question. La question, des fois, on voit des gens qui préfèrent manger quelque chose et qui ne veulent pas faire birkat.
Ah oui.
Nous, on les juge. On dit que c'est des gens, ils ne veulent pas faire la prière. Mais viens, on pense différemment. Viens, on se demande peut-être qu'ils n'ont pas envie de faire ces 4 brachas-là. Pourquoi? Parce que concrètement, je bois ça. Je fais chez Akol. Je mange des légumes. Je fais Adama. Qu'est-ce que je fais derrière pour finir le boulot? Une bracha. Ça me suffit. C'est-à-dire que la shefa de ça, elle me vient. Pour maintenant, quand j'ai mangé le pain, il faut que je m'asseye exactement à la place où j'ai mangé. Il faut que je sois concentré, que si je faisais la Hamida, il faut que je fasse bracha 1, 2, 3, 4 pour que je puisse avoir la shefa. C'est comme si, c'est compliqué d'avoir la shefa du pain. Mange des légumes, fais chez Akol, tu as la shefa direct. Pourquoi 4 brachot?
Parce que le pain, ça dépend de la pluie, ça dépend du terre, du sol.
Ça répond pas. 4 brachot? Pourquoi 4 brachot? Pourquoi autant de brachot à la fin pour pouvoir recevoir la shefa de la nourriture?
Du pain.
Why du pain? Why this difference? Why 4 brachot to get the shefa? Every food I eat, I just need to do 1 bracha harona. Here you need to give 4 to get the shefa. Yes, we say, oh yes, the shefa will be big. Okay, but why?
Because it's rooted in a higher place.
Higher place?
Than the other foods.
Higher place or lower place?
No, higher place. But that's why it becomes an Yestser Hana part of the year. Because, right, the Kabbalistically, at least the way I understand it, is like we can't eat an eagle because it's too high.
Yeah.
And the spark of holiness in it is we don't have the koach to untrap it. But by bread, it's low enough that we need 4 brachos to bring it all the way down from Atzilut to Asiyah.
Thank you.
Right. So then by this logic, it's not people that even though they might even be telling themselves they don't want to bench, it's that internally they recognize they have no koach to bring that shefa at that time.
Donc il dit en fait, parce que le pain, il vient d'un endroit qui est haut. Et t'enflamme pas, on te dit, manger de lait, tu ne veux pas manger parce que ça vient de plus haut que le pain. Tu vois la différence? C'est-à-dire que le pain, c'est suffisamment haut, mais suffisamment proche de nous. Mais plus haut que ça, il y a, oui, mange de l'aigle. Tu veux manger de l'aigle? Non. C'est-à-dire qu'à un moment, il y a quelque chose qui te permet de comprendre que c'est haut, mais c'est par rapport à toi, où tu te trouves en fait. Ah, là, on va retourner le truc. The question is deep. It's deep because to get the shefa from the bread, you have to work a lot. That's it. And he said,
so it's connected to the fact that we have to work in order to get this blessing.
what?
It's connected to the fact that we have to work in order to get this blessing.
Yes.
It inherently requires more toil out of our person, requires more effort out of our person.
So what is that effort? Is because it's too high, like he said, or because it's between ends which will not give it so easily?
Because this end won't be given to us so easily.
So why do you make 4 brachot? You work more to get the shefa back from the bread and from the cucumbers.
Maybe in some way the pshat is because so much labor and effort is put into the bread, there's more of a chashash. This is like a little derech hasidus. There's a chashash that we'll see it came from us. Way more than like vegetables and fruits, which it's obvious I didn't create this animal or this apple or that, but this bread, no, I grew it. I did all these malachot and my wife baked it, and now the Yestser Harah is mamish all over this thing. It's mine.
It's the rising of the bread. Yeah, the guy that's
But it's the simplest food. There's probably no other food that has such a chashash of it. attached to
So
it.
now
See
the-
now
now the
the
rising.
you see now the I mean, it's
Great.
Which is one of the rabbis I listen to. Is his whole, he doesn't care about the sin. He wants the I want this. So that he wants us to look at the bread and say, I did this with my hands.
thank you. So who are right? The Meraglim or Moshe?
Is that a serious question?
We,
They're both right.
Well, the land does devour its inhabitants. We talk about it all the time. It's going to devour us and spit us out. So they were right.
The Meraglim say no, we don't know. We know what's the problem of that bread. Okay, thank you, Alachot, on the leather. Okay, but we know what the problem we have. Yes.
I don't know how it's related, but, and I don't know how it is in Africa, but in Latin America, very poor people, they never have bread. They can't afford it. They have rice,
Yes.
they have lentils,
Yes.
they have yuca, manioc,
Yes.
they have potatoes, but it will never be
Big
bread.
bread. Yes. Et en Afrique, les gens n'ont pas de pain. Tu peux trouver tout chez eux, du riz, des maniocs, mais ils ne peuvent jamais de pain. Donc, comme il dit, en fait, il y a une notion avec le pain, comme il dit, derrière Chassidoute, peut-être que avec le pain, tu as l'impression que c'est toi. C'est ton argent, tu l'as acheté, ta femme l'a fait, et ça, tu peux construire une gare. Donc, on voit qu'en fait, dans cette notion du pain, Yestser Harah, sa mère même, il est dedans. You have to know what is bread.
S'il n'y a pas de pain, c'est la famine. Il n'y a pas de bénédiction, le pain c'est la récolte, le pain c'est la
Mais
bénédiction.
quel pain? Le vrai pain pour nous, c'est la manne. The real bread for us is because if you don't have bread, you don't. It's famine.
Famine.
Famine. Say yes, but which bread? Look, we have bread now, right? On a du pain dans le monde. Tu as de la famine? Oui, si. Il y a de la famine dans le monde.
Ah, il y a la famine. Ah,
Bien sûr, le pain il est là. Le famine il est là. Yes. Do we have famine? Yes. Is there bread? Yes. That bread we have problem. Because it's like he said, Rav Cohen, it's always selective. The richest have bread. Yes.
And the white, I'm sorry, who ate bread. What?
What I like about Benjamin, it's like in the family. You always have the rest is grandpa.
I'm sorry.
He's sitting on the side. Always he drops some words like this.
I don't know if it was 10 years, I have 6 white. Il y a two sisters naturopathes. She ate white bread. White bread is no good for body.
Ah, white bread, le pain blanc, c'est pas bon pour le corps.
Mais non. Je suis un naturopathe, moi ça fait plus de 10 ans que je mange plus de pain.
In America,
10 years he stopped to eat bread.
in America, Jews don't eat with bread. We call
Show me, I'm good,
non-Jewish bread. we eat bread, but we don't eat white bread. We make fun of it. It's a coincidence.
During apartheid in Libya and South Africa, you would be arrested by the police and go to jail if they find you with a white bread.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. In 1979, when I moved to the city, I had to get a permission from my boss. I was doing a domestic way. But you go to this shop and you put a number of things. Because I would be arrested if they find me. So, but now, they said apartheid was now getting a little bit not tight. But they realized that white bread was causing a lot of problems in terms of health.
Oh.
Now they shifted from the white bread to brown bread. But the blacks is all the opposite. They want the white bread.
It's
Causing problems.
it's a big problem. Bread, the bread we talk.
Après, il y a une grosse campagne aussi, le pain ça fait grossir, le pain c'est ça. Enfin,
I think there's a Rashi and maybe somewhere at the end of the book. One of the last Rashis is that the poor person is the person who has to buy his bread and who doesn't have enough grain in storage to know that he's going to eat next week. So you could have $1 million, and if you don't have a sure way of making bread for yourself, you're considered poor.
You can also see what's happened with Hashem, all the curses. Hashem never curse. You don't have bad aspect. So how can you tell me that if you don't do that, I will not give the bread, the rain, we don't get the bread? So it seems to me that the bread is like not that they want to curse you. He said that this behavior will create that the malach who handled the bread will not let you get the bread. Donc les malédictions, c'est aussi par rapport au pain. So he said you have to eat your lechem in a way, because that bread, let's say it, this is the way you can connect to Saint-Germain. C'est ta manière de connecter au Saint-Germain.
It's not so that before the European education, so connected with Catholicism, that bread come because our table to eat bread is a status.
Yes.
White men, people that want to show this is civilization.
Yes.
Mais de toute façon, c'est sûr que c'est pas bon. Parce que c'est trop bon.
Yeah.
C'est tout ce qui est-
That's why I wanted to say that. You can see that before what's happened with the bread. That's tava.
Voilà.
Then why we have some swalachot? We are obliged to know that you have to do netina before to eat bread. So it's help you to come with tava. Not only that, you want to do it episode. Okay, first of all, you do netina. You do with kavanot. You think about all the 50 you did. Okay, you come. After you do Mizmori David and Nairobi. Why do you? It's like someone who is going to a place so dangerous. You start to tell him, "Oh, please God help me." Mizmori David and Nairobi. What's happened? Okay, after you start bracha, Baruch Ata Hashem Elokeinu Melech Haolam Hamotzi Lechem Min Haaretz. Okay, after you take it in the salt. We always say that the bread makes sweeter the salt. Is it not the opposite? That's it. You make sweeter the salt. After you put in your mouth, you start to make the kavanot. You chew. Say the non-Jewish, when they have bread, it's something bring you to be tahava, in the tahava.
David said, bread can't be good, it's too good.
So it's not good.
So let's see. So it is. David, mais ça met même roche. So you see now, we have connection between bread and the 70 nations. Oh, donc on a un lien entre le pain et son d'une nation. Les marloquettes, bitul o, beze et. Em sod ketze amashiach yavo veibatel. Oh. So we say, we have a marloquet in the Gemara. When do we have to stop to eat bread? For now, for us, it's simple. You take your smartphone, you see what the rabbi said. Okay, Zman Acharon Achilat Hametz, 10:30. Okay, I stop. But you have to know, we have machloket to know when do we stop. I know Mekubalim, they stop 40 days before.
Oh,
Wow.
To clean all the body.
40 days?
40 jours
Ah ouais,
avant.
40 jours
And how
avant.
many days?
40.
I just saw someone quoted, I don't know, they said that the RE stopped by Purim. Already.
Yes.
Is that true? Okay.
And how many days after? Because they're not going to stop for 4. Also 40 days, no?
Yes. So he said, because what is the purpose for you? Because if you eat bread, let's say the last day of before Pesach, Friday morning, 9, you eat your bread. Okay, you will digest in the day, but you remember will kill the chametz. So you are not kosher for Pesach at all.
That's why you have to put foil over your body. Your wife.
Yes. That's why some tzaddikim to help the people will say, when you study, And the yeshiva tell you now, no chametz in the yeshiva, stop to eat. Because the process, we know at least 3 days. 3 days like natural process. After you have the machmirim, you want to do more, do like Moshe and Eliyahu Navi. We're going to finish, we're going to have not other time, it's really late. Eliyahu Navi, they stopped. He wants to find the place in the desert. Which place? The place where Moshe was hidden to see Hashem and Rachum. Eliyahu Navi found the place. But what's happened? 40 days. Stop to eat. So you know that you have something logical when you want to disconnect with one food to use the timeline of 40 days. Donc il y a une dimension de 40 jours qui est intéressante parce que tu vas dire la vie, quand il voulait aller à l'endroit où Moshe, il a vu Hachem passer, il a marché dans le désert 40 jours. Et là-bas, il a marqué qu'il ne mangeait pas. C'est les corbeaux qui venaient lui réveiller-toi, mange. So what's happened? You see that? So make away will find. Machmirim.
He ate at night. Eliyahu, he must have eaten at night.
Yes, by the ravens.
Vous êtes comme un ange.
Yes. But you,
Rabbi Pinchas,
yes.
didn't mean to interrupt. Since we learned that 3 days of fasting is equal to 40 days, is there an inyan of some people that fast for 3 days before Pesach, also to clean up the body of Chomet?
Sfata stop. Got it. That's why you stop 3 days. Ça, tu fais un jeûne de 3 jours avant Pesach.
C'est moutarde?
Hein?
C'est moutarde?
No,
Avant Pesach.
for chametz, not fast completely.
If you say that 3 days, it's like 40 days. People who want to fast before Pesach 3 days, they got the 40 days. But not mine.
But even in Nisan, it's okay to fast?
Why is it forbidden? What will not be okay?
I asked you when Mordechai and Yestser was.
I mean, it's a time where we don't say Tachanun.
They broke the fast on.
Typically, it's considered a joyous day.
Why is that the kind of bin Mavatal?
They say
We're saved from Amalek? We've been saved from Amalek yet? I feel like we're getting deeper in the grip. We're not further away.
There's things that don't want to happen yet because we need to be a stronger group. But look what he said. I will let Rabbi Chavdat say. He said, "V'em sod ketzia Mashiach." This is the secret of the final time of Mashiach. Yavo v'yibatel. Connected to when do we have to stop to eat chametz?
Okay, so we're waiting for Moshe.
Yeah.
That's the shot. When do we stop?
When do we stop?
And get ready to chibazon and go.
Right.
When are we going? Let's go.
C'est dommage. Donc ça, le pain, il dit le moment où tu arrêtes de manger le pain, c'est lié au moment où Mashiach peut venir.
Je comprends. Ça veut dire, ça signifie quoi? Avant Pessah?
Ouais. Quand tu arrêtes de manger.
Bah, pour Pessah. Donc, c'est le temps de la Géoula, c'est la dépense, c'est pour Pessah.
Non, mais c'est pour Pessah, il faut préparer pour que le Mashiach arrive. Mashiach cannot come if you still eat bread. Mashiach ne peut pas manger, il ne peut pas venir si tu manges toujours du pain. Ça le bloque. It's a big sentence.
Well, if we left Mitzrayim with our group, but we didn't leave Mitzrayim with our group, why are we eating bread at all?
Mashiach will come. If you had even Shabbat, you have a set of Shabbat with bread. Okay, Mashiach will be there. It's only the matzah which bring it. They make the change. That's why many say Pesach is the good time for Mashiach. Because you have a problem with bread.
So we should use matzah for Shabbat every full year?
No, Rabbi Shimon said you don't. All the work is on that 7 days. I say 8 because I include Isuchag, but the 7 days of Pesach. Yeah, 8 also. You have to keep that.
Did I get it right? Moshiach will not come
Till we eat bread.
until
We eat bread.
Meaning matter.
No, meaning bread.
He will not come until we eat bread.
Chametz.
Oh,
Qu'est-ce qu'on peut en.
Ah.
C'est quoi la signification? Ah, tu vas pas faire le livre, hein. Il nous faut quand même la réponse.
J'ai dit, j'attends qu'on soit encore plus solide pour
Ah.
dire ça, parce qu'il y a encore des nouveaux, tu vois.
Parce que là, c'est au
Il
suspense.
faut aller doucement.
Mais bon, on peut quand même réfléchir à ce que ça signifie, quoi.
Well, maybe it's not the moment, but I mean, in my time of young boarding school, I have been penalized because I left pieces of bread fall. Why?
Because people who were handling your education were putting bread here, like a kind of worship, Abu Zara. We basically show respect to the bread, but we don't worship bread. Because many Jewish today, like you said, they don't have bread. Or maybe what's happened sometime and they don't have bread, they have some help. People bringing bread and you have to. The purpose is not you to eat, just because we care. We worry about you doing the Amotzion Shabbat. Because the Amotzion Shabbat fixed the bread. But what's happened, all the, let's say, European civilization, bread is like the high society. That's why some people say, Lekhem, they say, take this bread is my body.
Aussi le pain de la foi, t'as entendu?
Exactly.
Le pain de la foi.
This bread is your body, even at the chametz, the matzah. Okay, I got it. I know where we are. So,
They don't use chametz.
so you know what's happened?
No.
It's because for them, it's an object of worship. So it's like someone who worship that mask. You put that mask in the pocket. You are in the bus. Scream on you. No worship.
It happened this morning.
No worship.
J'ai une piste, une petite piste. En fait, je suis sûr que le pain, il y a une connotation parce qu'on dit que le Mashiach vient quand on mangera de manger du pain. Et ça me rappelle une phrase que j'ai entendue. On dit que le Mashiach viendra quand il n'y aura plus de sous dans les poches. T'as entendu ça? Donc il doit avoir un rapport avec l'argent, le pain.
Parce que le t'as dit, c'est la valeur monétaire, elle est écrite par rapport à ça.
Donc si le pain aussi c'est considéré comme aussi un peu la gava, l'orgueil, il y a une relation avec tout ça.
C'est pour ça qu'on a une kavana dans les kavanot du manger qui s'appelle Lekhem. That's why we have one kavana in the kavanot of eating called Lekhem. Why do you make the kavana of Lekhem? The bread is already here. Say no, not that one. Bring it to the another place where we know that it will not be what it is. That's why you will see people who eat a lot of bread. Look the midot. They are not so calm, peaceful.
This guy's managing many women, so.
I was gonna say, my wife can eat like half a loaf of bread at each meal.
Women,
They're just like-
they are out of the time.
Okay.
They are not man, c'est no grammar. I talk about men.
Ça veut dire quoi? Ce qu'il veut dire avec Milchama.
Lekhem, c'est les mêmes lettres que Milchama, la guerre. So let's go and finish in 10 minutes. He said, I will not finish today. It was a small time, but it's deep. And after tomorrow, being there, it will be, I will go in the morning to buy to get the flour. So in the afternoon, being there, we're going to see what are the 7 days of Pesach for those who want to do it by themselves to start. It's in Shar Alikutim. It's Daf Gimel, Daf Zayin. It says on the Pasuk, V'haaretz hayta tohu v'bohu. There you have all the secret. Bread and also Eliyahu. What is Haaretz? What gave you the bread? What is Tobabu? Question. So I said, Mashiach, ויש קץ באור ל14. And he said, you have the final or the final light is on the 40th. What does it mean? ויש קץ ל4 שעות. You have also the final hour is 4 hours after the 4 hours. ויש קץ ל5 שעות תולעה בספק. You can also go to 5 hours. So when you have to know when you have to stop to eat bread, let's say 4 hours after the day. After the day, let's say. After ושש שעות בתחילת 6 ברכת. And you have בתחילת 6 בדורמיתה. I will explain tomorrow. ומשם לא יעבור. So it's the maximum. We accept the idea of you eating bread 6 hours after the dawn, let's say. Donc on accepte l'idée que tu manges du pain maximum 6 heures après que le jour se soit levé. Au minimum 4, bien 4 heures. 5 heures, on peut t'aider, on peut trouver une protection. 6 heures, yeah. 6 hours, it's maximum. Said,
No, sorry. I passed by. But I came to the last opportunity to tell my friends I grew up in a boarding school. Many of the others may be boarding. But remember, we can joke. Okay. For me, everyone is a brother. But something small, when I sit for 75 years ago in school, and it says, Negroes isn't civilized, and bread is a glory of us, Senor. This is inside of me. Remember?
You know what, Benjamin? You have to be happy. Because they were saying about you that you are not in the part of the worship. We are giving on you all the blessings. That bread is not for you. Oh, thank you, because I don't need that bread. You were built to eat the bread with the amoti, with the birkat hamazon. That's what you achieve to do in your life. So what you are doing now is the answers, the best answer you give to them. Because believe me, that's why the sage said, you know what, you are living outside, you live in America and your friends, no problem. Eat their bread, but please, the 10 days between Rosh Hashanah and Kippur, stop to eat their bread. Don't eat. Even us, we put ourselves in a position, let's say at least 10 days per year to say, you know what, your bread, keep it. And they know it. That's why be careful. A bread cooked by non-Jewish, don't put your mouth. In some restaurant here, they made their own pitot. It's Jewish. We have the teuda. You arrive early in the morning. Who's putting the bread? The Arabs.
Oh, you mean because the Jew likes the fire, so it's like considered.
Don't do that. You fire and you cook. How do you think that I like the fire? What is this? You like the fire? Oh, okay. So there's no consequential action. This one will know exactly when to take out the bread to say, now it's cooked. It's not important to know when is the time to say it's cooked. You just let the fire. You are lazy. Don't cry. Be happy. Because their actions shows exactly that you are not from their incense. You are outside. It was hard because you were missing answering your time. But Now you know. The bread is a poison if you don't know how to eat it with who you eat it and also with who you share it. And in that boarding school, sorry, it said, כי הוא של תורה, והראשונים מדברי סופרים, ולכן ברכת כי שבעי לא יישר קליפת בעולם, כי חפכה הלבנה ובושה החמה, אבל בשעה חמישית שהוא ימות המשיח תולים, ועדיין יש אומות, והנער החוטאים בין מעט שנה ימות יקלקלו באבן. This is a code. You can translate word after word, you will not understand what he's telling you here. He's telling you all the secret how to bring Mashiach, connected to the hours where he will stop to eat bread or not. 4 hours after the dawn, 5 hours or 6 hours. Là, tout ce qu'il a dit, tu peux traduire, c'est un code. Tu n'as aucune explication. C'est pas compréhensible. It's not. Because he's talking. That's why when he finished the event, understand. Like I think, you know what? This is the cup is the book is the wine. And we get it.
Can we connect this with Erev Shabbos and before Shabbos every week?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Venyan.
Now, like 6 hours or something. 6 hours.
Yeah.
Now, if you compare, like, you know, the hours before Shabbat to the whole 1,000 years, we're already in like the 5th or 6th hour. So.
Yeah.
We're past
rapport.
for the goal.
Which is like the Shabbat,
It's like 1:30.
Il y a des codes ici.
which is like the time.
Ça fait presque peur de les
Pour
dévoiler.
une skier.
Faut les
Je vois,
garder pour un petit peu.
je te connais un peu maintenant. Mais bon, t'as une bonne raison.
Dans l'Hydra Zouta là-bas, 4-5 jeudi. Mais là, là-bas, ועניין המים המחמיצים, רמז למים הזדונים. ובזה תבין המים שלנו, מתחת השמש ביום המעוון, בכל הדינים בזאת הקדמה. ויורמז 5 מנעי לבד, המחמיצין ואת המנעי דגן לישראל. ראשית תבואתה, לכן נידונים בפסח על התבואה, ושבועות פרי העילה, הם תלמידי חכמים, ובחג על המים רמז ל70 אומות, וראש השנה לכל העולם. Let's keep it to more. We're going to start from this. He's telling you the Hagim with the judgment. Who is judged when? He said everything is connected to the aspect of the waters. Because take this pasuk of 7 days you will eat matzot, read it all. It's talking about waters there. And that waters are connected to one thing, the 5 kind of wheat that we have in Israel. Not only that, you have also some, we see that Pesach is connected to the Rosh Hashanah of the nature because it's the sun, right? So Pesach is in the middle, but at the beginning of Nisan, Rosh Hashanah is nature. People say it's in Tisha to Bishvat. Look it. He's telling you it's the Tevuot. So it's not maybe when the Sev, when it start to go in the trees or when it's more when it starts to be seen. No, now you go to see the fruit, the tree, and you see some, not the fruit, but start to be seen. It's not happening down. You don't see nothing. Machloket, why is it in Tu Bishvat or Rosh Shvat? But he said for him, when you see it, this is the beginning. You see really the fruit coming from that tree. He said it's Nisan. After he said in Yeshayahu, and he said, "Lekhem nidunim bepesach al ha-tevuah." So that's why we are judged on Pesach on the fruit. What is tevuah? Ubeshavuot, we are judged on the fruits of the trees. Who are them? They are the Talmidei Chachamim. So when the Talmidei Chachamim are judged on Shavuot, donc quand les Talmidei Chachamim sont jugés à Shavuot, ou Bechag Alamayim. So the Chag, on the Chag, we judge the waters. Which Chag? All of them?
Shavuot.
No, Sukkot.
No, yes,
Because you have Nisot Mayim. Remez Shivuit Umot. So he said, this is for the people. They are judged there. Ve'rosh Hashanah lichol ha'olam. So what the difference we have between the 17 nations and all the world? This is the people coming from the 17 nations. You have different levels. If you are one roots nation or you have extension of nations. You are not judged at the same time. Donc il dit quoi? Il dit, les Chachamim sont jugés à Shavuot. Chag, qui s'appelle en fait Sukkot, on fait le jugement sur l'eau. Ça fait référence au peuple du monde. Ce sont des peuples. Et à Rosh Hashanah, c'est tout le monde qui est jugé. Justement, c'est pas la différence entre les 70 peuples et tout le monde. Les 70 peuples, c'est 70 peuples racines. La volonté, c'est ce qui sort de eux. And he finished there. So the understanding of this sugya, it will be there tomorrow. Parashat Bereshit, Ve'aretz hayta tova v'u'u. Baruch Adonai Olam, Amen ve'Amen.
So with matzah and chametz, we have different treatments of the metz, right? Which is the kal gvurot, or the tzirufei shem adnus. Yeah. So I had ones who got orange juice, and I said to be mitkaven that the yud of Chochmah sweetens the meats, which is the. So my wife is not into wine at all, so she had grape juice last year, and I said to her, "No, you really need to be drinking wine."
Yes.
I didn't know why I said that because I hadn't learned all this language, but now it seems that because the yud is mochin da'aba, and we're bringing the yud into the meats, if we're talking about grape juice or juice, that it would be a real problem. It's not just not being high in something good, it's like giving mochin da'aba to the klipa.
I remember brothers drinks grape juice.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Interesting.
You know brothers? I heard just on Shabbat, Rasul was saying he drinks half a bottle, no, a whole bottle of grape juice each course.
Only grape juice that I saw with the Mekubalim being permit is you buy your own grapes, you squeeze them, let's say 3 or 4 days before Pesach, you let them in the fridge, they will start to turn a little bit, and you bring them like this. You make 4 cups. These you can say a geffen on that.
Just as a very weak, you could say it's like a weak wine.
Yeah.
So also because some people don't believe that the wine you have deserve a geffen.
Oh.
Because there's all these different sheets.
Yes.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So I remember in Bethel, most of the sage, they were buying their bottle from one yard. We know that the guy is a Kohen. He learned in Bethel, in Nar Shalom, and I forgot the name. It's a strange name. I mean, Yehuda, I think. I don't remember. Every year, The guys only do 400 bottles. No,
Oh, so there's none for us.
no more. Yeah. You have it. We are doing only the Pesa with the point. Receiving boxes, he was giving to us at least one bottle to make you 4 cup. But it's telling you that the wine you have on the supermarket, it's not that.
So which one do you have?
My wine, I have to see this year because we had some problem to get the wine from the guy we get usually because of this corona stuff. We're gonna see. I'm talking with some. When they tell you have one guy is Ishai Rochman, is the rabbi of OU. Is a specialist on let's say many things from hospitality. And usually I ask him about which one you can take, and he gives you the less worst, let's say. Because he knows exactly from where they took the wine.
Can you take your vote for tomorrow?
Huh?
Can you take your vote for tomorrow?
And they say this is where they put all the Jewish, the wine. And they say when they get it's hard to say, but halacha it's permit. When they get all the grapes, instead of the tree, you have some birds sometimes. So it's not done by hands, done by machines. So they cut the branches of the grapes and it goes straight in the machines. Sometimes you have birds coming out, they start to escape. Sometimes they squeeze inside.
Oh, man.
Yes. This is what I told you. The Rabbi Israel Avichai, the Rosh Hashanah, saw it with his own eyes. He went there to see.
And you found birds being squashed.
Yeah, he saw it. So it's what's happened after they let it in the cube. And they let it few days. What will happen? All the materials will go down. So what's happened? Here is the wine 300. Here's the wine 200, 100. And the closer you are from the materials, it's 20.
But it's blood. Is butter of the shisha or not ready?
They tell the rabbi says there's no bit of shishi, but don't drink.
I don't even think the Pashtunim would hold that was Bithul B'Shishim because they lechatchila chose to rely on that kula. You're right. You can't lechatchila rely on that kula. Yeah. They know they're going to catch a bird in there. And don't worry, we'll just rely on Bithul B'Shishim. It doesn't work then. Right. It doesn't work.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Can you please recap it for me, please? Just to recap for me.
Bread. Most of the people,
Yes.
they say that the chametz on Pesach is Yestser.
Yes.
So they try
We wanted to understand where they came from. Because we saw last time that the chametz is the brain of Harah.
Yes.
So we saw that bread called chametz, something is wrong inside.
Something is inside.
Wrong inside.
Okay, clear.
Why? Because how can you be kicked out 7 days per year? So we saw that this is connected to summer men. Why? The way the bread is done, the way the wheat is created, all the work you have to do. And the pastor telling you that it was a curse. Bread comes out with a lot of work. At the same time, you have another pasuk in Gemara telling you that at the end, at the level, the bread comes out without you working. So it means that something wrong is inside of the bread. You try to understand what is that thing called wrong. He said that basically this is connected to the curse. When you see the curse, you know that someone is standing there. That's why when you're going to eat bread, you have so many levels, steps. And when you squeeze many levels, you want to get your wheat from the field. You have to make maaser, truma, and after you can cook it, and after you cook it, you take the challah. What is all that? But why you do I need to take one part of the bread to see? So we show that the problem inside of that bread. That's why we have to avoid it 7 days per year. So tomorrow you're going to see what are that 7 days. Why we have to avoid it?
I would think that it's a tikkun on Chet Adam. But it's interesting because we're saying that the Samachman had the Nachash. Right, read the Nachash. And the whole, not the whole, but the shot of that is that, okay, well, the Nachash was able to seduce and everything because we didn't wait. If we waited for Shabbos, it would have been fine. Here we're definitely not waiting. Here we're rushing.
Pesach?
Yeah. But it's like reverse. It's like we're supposed to rush out. Where in Bereshit we're supposed to wait.
Yeah, good.
But that's why it's interesting. I think if the tikkun would be eating the fines.
It's equal to eat the chametz on Pesach is for the week.
When they eat chametz on Pesach, for them it's tikkun.
That's why it's a mitzvah to give them chametz. To sell it, you don't not to ask for money back. That's why I put the chametz on. Take.
But it's interesting why I don't see where else do we have something like that where the tikkun isn't doing the thing that was the chet in the first place.
You don't have many examples. The bread is one situation that is like that because you really give kavod to that food, and suddenly you say, "No, leave my home, leave my clothes, leave my rooms, leave me, leave our city." Even when Ishchai say halacha, you cannot smell the bread being cooked. What? Cannot smell. That's true. Good luck. You should leave.
It's actually not bread being cooked?
Yeah, to smell. Yeah, to smell.
Oh, Pesach.
I mean, I could see this being tikkun on just on Yesod.
We're going to say tomorrow, it's deep, very deep. But if you want to read it, c'est faire l'ikutim par pasuk ve'aretz hayta tova bo.
You're not gonna go through that with us?
Tomorrow.
Oh, okay, yeah.
That's good. If you read Lekatrila, we will go deeper.
I'd be happy. I mean, we're having at the yeshiva.
Take pictures.
Pictures.
Maybe not from mine because mine it's like if I show you the page. Here is my page.
I don't care, but unless you.
No, it's personal.
Okay.
You have things.
Okay.
Take it here. You have it's the number. You know where I know where to get it. 50. You have it in the red. Page Zine. Ve'aretz hayta tova bo. All these pictures.
Thank you, Rob.
Pleasure. Where Rabbi Carlos? Yes.
Oui,
Bye bye.
bye bye.